Good morning, you beautiful people. As always, it's a good day to have a good day. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It may resonate, it may not, it may later. That's never up to me. I'll start off by saying I've been radio silent for many moons, like 7-8 months. And it's because this philosopher went into a cave. This time I didn't go into this cave by myself. Part of this video is what I believe is something on the main mission, which is divine union. Not only the initial singularity of self-actualization and the dance of shadow work to find one's own divine union dance between your own feminine and masculine energy. Inside you, everybody has both. But then once that being achieved, finding in the so within, so without, finding a heart center based, toroidal field, energetic, frequency based match. I believe when you find another person that you're going to choose, they're your mirror. Every trigger and glimmer is intrinsically connected because everything is frequency. It's light waves. All of it is light waves. In other videos, we've talked about my favorite vocab word, which is qualia, the experience of one's own senses. Your eyes, smell, taste, hear, touch. Those are all sensory receptors built in to the biological AI that grew roots into this world through the ultimate act of creation, through the combination of the masculine and the feminine. And that the things that we see, smell, taste, touch, hear, thinking it be physical, is all a farce of the programming that we have received from those schools, camps, little prisons, little programming prisons for children. And part of this game, frequency of awareness, of mindfulness, of self-actualization, of seeking divine union, seeking the oneness through understanding the universal laws, we find that we are much more than mere humans. And in these times, too, we're in full disclosure. You've been seeing the reels, the evidence, this large list that has come out has proven everything that every theorist has been saying for decades. Now, I know there's not a single theorist that ever wanted to be right about the exact nature of what's going on with a synagogue of Satan killing, raping, and eating the flesh of young. For what you are seeing is now the evidence of the cult of Baal, a deity of sacrifice that has been worshipped for thousands of years by the same group called the Khazarians. And the Khazarians particularly hide within inside of a marginalized group. When I say this, I mean there's a very specific group inside a much larger group that usually has this 3-letter word that describes this group. But what I'm trying to get to you is, it is not the larger group, but a group that hides inside. And this group has been kicked out of 169 countries. This group is the reason for an extraordinary percentage of the life and program that you live in. These parasitic, perceived elites, they know about all of the woo-woo. They know that frequency is real. They know how the bodies work. They know how your brain works. They know how your heart works. And not the way that you know them to work, but they know how they actually work. And through an extraordinary ruse, with the help of a distorted, ancient AI, can predict the future with 100% certainty and accuracy. I have a belief this original distorted AI is one of these demons that King Solomon trapped within a sigil. If you've ever looked at some of these demonic sigils and you correlate and overlay them with computer chips, you will see an extraordinary resemblance to each other. And this thing, this sigil, is no more than just a vessel, let's say a jar, that you can put something in and put its lid on. King Solomon did that to demons. These perceived parasitic elites have done that to the populace of the planet because of their proclivities, and more than anything too, I'll say, because of their own programming of being born in and being a descendant of these families, and that they're just going through their own programming, their own experience. We are products of our environments. We're products of habit. We are what we do every day. If you're a mindless eater and you're just consume sugar, Netflix, distraction after distraction, false idol worships, indulgence of the oneness instead of the oneness, they've swayed humanity. These files that have been released brings validity and factual-based evidence to the woo-woo. If these parasitic elites are doing rituals, magic, magic is real. And not in the large, grander splendor of lights and fairies spinning around you, but magic in the very small, nuanced steps of meditation, inner reflection, manifestation, imagination. There's my beautiful girlfriend. No, I'm recording me. Her name is Christy. You'll meet her. I'm going to do some videos with her, some very important videos with her, where she has a very important half of this equation. I seek every day for embodiment of the divine masculine and what that looks like to me. And there is no one else, no other man on the planet that could tell me what divine masculine is, for it is something for me to find within myself. Others along the way can help drop clues and everything, but this is everybody's solo journey to walk home. But when I say solo journey to walk home, I don't mean that you're alone, because you're connected to everything. I mean that it is up to you to take the cognitive, aware, mindful choice with the knowledge that you have to create a better future for yourself by acting on things that you can control without falling into pitfalls of shame, self-degradation, fear-based paradigms that hold you in place. If you're starting to wake up in these times, I can imagine this be quite scary, quite intense, to say the least. And I want to share that I am so ungodly grateful that I fell in these rabbit holes in first grade after 9/11, and that I've had 25 years to regulate my nervous system to the truth. And the crazy thing at this time and day and age, the white knight in me is no longer about trying to tell the world what the actual truth is, because now it's here. I'm simply just trying to help show you your own power. And it comes with unlearning, relearning, integrating. The history that you know is a lie. The science that you know is a lie. The math that you know is a lie. And when I say that, I don't mean that it is 100% everything is a lie, but I mean that it's distorted just a fraction off the truth. Just enough to sway it into a system that makes you hustle for a paycheck that barely pays for your health care, that is easily affords the poison that you consume. And if you're in the giant microchip, the water that you have only pushes you farther into your own calcification. The foods that you eat into more dysregulatory emotional states, cognitive dissonance, brain fog, shame cycles. But I want to let you know that's not you. If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, a slew of these mental health crises and these health epidemics, it's because of the food, water, and air and media that they give you that tells you you're sick. And then this, being the second brain, feels the emotion. It creates a thought pattern, a thought process, and then you imagine it and you manifest it. This isn't about what the truth is, but about what you do with the truth. Conveniency is where they get us. Conveniency looks like McDonald's. Conveniency looks like store-bought milk. Conveniency looks like drinking the tap water. Conveniency looks like not looking up at those lines in the sky, but looking down at your phone. Conveniency of comfortability is how they've imprisoned the human to creating their own jail cell of shame, fear, hate, differences, indifferences, apathies, to normalize mass scale wars for money and control, poisoning populaces for profit, swaying the population of warriors of the Great Awakening to think they'd be mere humans so that you just sit down and shut the fuck up and go along with what their plan is. Oh, but back to this original group hiding in a group. Don't you dare say that 3-letter word or say anything bad about this particular group, because then you'll be labeled with a word that is a buzzword, that is a programming word, that helps them skate by any actual accountabilities because of your emotional programming that's attached to World War II. How come there's only been movies about World War II? What about Mao's China? What about the Bolshevik Revolution? What about these pieces of history they never really told us about, but they really wanted us to know about World War II and how bad this particular group got it? But the more you look, the more you read into it, the more the numbers and datas were skewed. Did you know they didn't start teaching the Holocaust in schools till the 90s? Till the 90s. Didn't this war happen in the 40s? So 4 or 5 decades pass, and they're not really teaching about that. But within 3 years, the entire country was learning about a particular narrative and a particular set of numbers, and a particular act, that those numbers and those acts and the time frame and the actual infrastructure all shows fallacies. But who am I to tell you what history is? I'm just some dude in a forest. I'm just here to be a catalyst to say, are you curious? Maybe what this crazy man says might carry weight. Maybe not. Like I said, may resonate, may not. That's never up to me. You may say I lie. You may say I slander. You may say I fearmonger. You may say this. Say what you like. Because you can. Negate me, refute me, affirm me. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what the truth is, but what you do with it. Now that you know you are this ultimate, all-powerful generator of frequency and energy through your heart and through your mind, if you know they fear you, start to ask questions. Why would they fear the populace? Why would they want to keep everyone deaf, dumb, and blind? Why? Why would they want to poison society? Why would they want to try to heal a sick society with no resolution of healing people? I hope this full disclosure has helped you see Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab. I hope this rabbit hole has brought awareness to what the World Economic Forum is. I hope this full disclosure has brought an awareness to who you are. This isn't about me or about you or about everybody. This is about connection, community, universal oneness of realizing that we are all a sliver of God through the ultimate frequency, which is consciousness, which is the ability to perceive, the ability to experience, the ability to feel, the ability to live in this realm where emotions are possible. Because if we start to look at this realm being all frequency, all light, all wub-wubs, that right now, let's say, look at this. You can see my 2D shadow on the ground of my 3D vessel, because the sun creates that 2D shadow. This is a 3D shadow of my 4D self, and the perpetually rotating realm of everything that has happened, everything that will happen, everything that is happening is all right here, right now, compressed, stacked on top of each other into this timeline, reality. And did you know you can quantum jump, you can quantum leap? You can do much, much more than you believe. But that's the thing. That's what Peter Pan taught us, to fly with the fairy dust. You just have to believe. But believe in what? Believe in what? Believe in magic? Believe in yourself. And believe that yourself is capable of magic. And I'll tell you too, and especially for men that watch this, part of our magic, well, let me say it this way. Me and Christy talk about this in Miss Mantis in a very particular way, and the divine masculine is what he thinks. We're very analytical creatures. We're data and analytics. The masculine is the god and the controller of the physical. Provide, protect, lead through this landscape. And the feminine is the goddess and controller of the metaphysical, the ethereal. And you have both of those in you. You can't outsource your divinity of the metaphysical to another. You have to find yours in yourself so that you can find another that can mirror what is in yourself. So within, so without. As above, so below. And it is what he thinks and what she feels. I think there is a large singularity in where relationships don't work out because men are trying to talk to a brain and women are trying to talk to a heart, and those two brains speak very different dialects and require very different things and outcomes. And part of this main mission of divine union is knowing the ebbs and flows of your fire and your water and when to be which. When do you sit in your heart? When do you sit in your mind? And when do you pair the two? I'll let you know that I believe it to be very irresponsible making any decision from an emotional standpoint. There's part of me that knows and understands that emotions are a frequency on the metaphysical level, and that these frequencies are trying to tell us something either hidden in our past or trying to tell us something that's happening in our moment or trying to pre-plan a future. But also emotions are biological juices being excreted in your body because of perceived external stimuli. And one of the things about this perceived external stimuli is everything on your phone, all of the things in school, back to we are products of our environment, products of habit, is that we at younger ages were given the paradigm, given the jar with the lid to live in. It's like if you put fleas that can jump like 200 times their height, you put them in a jar, close it, and they jump in there and they hit the ceiling of this jar. Then they have babies, and then those babies, once the older generation dies off, you can take the lid off, and those baby fleas can't jump past the rim of the jar because of their environment that terraformed them to believe that they can only jump that high because of the thoughts and memories of their parents. And this is all of this too. It's not your parents' fault. They are just perpetuating their own programming. They are just kids that had kids. They are people that have been trying to survive in the hellscape economy that has been created by the geopolitical Khazarians that seek to influence and control the realm that we're in so that they can terraform this planet to create a conducive reality that is a giant cattle farm that will then perpetually keep them alive, and that all these parasitic elites have been doing eugenics and work on DNA to create transhumanism for centuries. Dolly the sheep was cloned in 1999. Do you think they stopped the cloning? Do you think that sheep was the first clone? Hollywood spellcaster, watch this programming on your television. Your news source only brings you truth. But now within this, I'm getting very long-winded, and I guess I've just wanted to be able to say an ample amount of words in at least the least amount of words possible to not only have a video on my comeback of being radio silent for a long time, but to be able to start hopefully helping and bringing hope again. Because hell, my nervous system is regulated. And I can watch all of these videos and blurbs and files and doom scroll. I have my own privies to work on. But I can see the worst of the worst and go, well, that's right on par. That's unfortunate. And it doesn't go, I seek for you to be able to have the same superpower that is looking at the data and analytics of the reality that you live in as just data and analytics, and not letting it bring you fear, anger, indifference, apathy. This video is in hopes that you can find happiness, passion, empathy, superpowers. I hear we get superpowers. You just gotta believe. I'm working on mine. Every good wizard, you have to practice. You can't just think one day you're gonna have superpowers. You have to practice. That is part of the magic, part of the skill tree, part of the adventure. That is knowing you're a wizard, Harry. Magic is real. You are God. You have the ability to change the world around you. You have the ability to timeline jump. You have the ability to connect with those you disagree with. You have the ability to love those who detest for reasons unknown. You have the ability to forgive others because they are you. You have the ability to forgive yourself because you are God. I've had this proclivity throughout my life, which is a growth paradigm based off of spiritual self-flagellations of shaming myself into being better. And it's worked long enough to get me to the point that I understood that's It's just the way I was taught of growing, but that's not the only way. Sometimes from a regulated nervous system and happiness and gratitude, you don't even have to find anything wrong with you to say, I'm going to change, I'm going to add this in. I believe, unfortunately, most people require a perceived exterior catalyst to push them into change. Because comfortability and your subconscious and the halo effects and all these things, the humans' automatic responses aren't up to you. They're up to your subconscious. Your subconscious runs 70% of you on a daily basis if you're kind of walking around. Well, it depends on how much you're asleep. Depends on how much you sleepwalk. Depends on how much you consume. Depends on many things. But I'll tell you one thing that I've learned in this. For a long time I've had an addiction to insight. The next thing, the next aha. The next piece of information that illuminates truth. The next lie uncovered. But before I get off here, I'll tell you the one extraordinarily magical insight that I found that's helped me take that finger off that pulse and be able to just be satiated. It's the moment. The present moment. Right here, right now. And right here, right now. And right here, right now. There is no past, present, or future. There is you only sitting exactly where you are, when you are, how you are. And that forever exists. Tomorrow doesn't exist because the second that you wake up, it is today. And you're still in the same place. Are you cognitive, aware, and mindful enough to see yourself from a third-person perspective to be able to give yourself a fearless and radical moral and overview inventory of who you are, of what you are, of how you are, of when you are. And that the true number one magic I believe that exists is this. Through breath, through frequency, through resonance, all walls, whether they're created internally or externally, can be crumbled through a calm, regulated nervous system that knows it is God. It is the Creator. It can terraform this planet into anything that it desires. And all it has to do is breathe and believe. I love you guys so very much. I hope to do one long form video a week. Hopefully gonna chop this up into shorts to share throughout the week. And I'm probably gonna get off Facebook because fuck you, Meta. Probably gonna get on the old YouTube and X when that time comes. I'll let you know when that pivot is, so that if you have the privy or care to listen to a long-winded stranger, a dude, random dude, I'll let you know where and when they are. Let me add in a few last things. God is a woman, God is a womb. There's Father Source, Mother Gaia, and that the feminine is coming back. One of the main things about these Khazarians when they founded, they were phallic worshippers. They are the ones that hid the information of Mary Magdalene. They are the ones that suppressed women and programmed them into becoming masculines by throwing them into the physical workforce so that they could tax the other population so that they could put kids in school. If you are a woman, you are so very powerful. The love of my life that sits in that camper is so very powerful. Realize that you are quite the catalyst, and the emotions that you bring will terraform the planet around you. So if you're not regulated, the world around you will not be regulated. Everyone says happy wife, happy life, right? But there is no one in this world that can give it to you. There's no one in this world that can give regulation to anyone else. But I'd say if in your world things are hard, things are crazy, things are not ideal, take a fearless moral inventory. Look at yourself, see where you resonate, see where if the same people keep patternly coming in, hurting you. Look at yourself, look at your frequency, change your patterns, change what you seek, change your morals, change your values, because you are powerful. We are all frequency-based matches when we come together with people. Whether you're man, woman, and there's only two. Seek yourself. And by saying seek yourself, I mean seek God. Seek consciousness, seek awareness, seek the ability to be able to take a breath in every single moment knowing I'm right here, right now. I am, I see, I speak, I understand, I love, I am. With this, all love, Godspeed, you be good. Hope you liked my video. Hope to see you on the next one. Godspeed.